So, you decided to stick around. Well, I've been given a job by Warlord Ragnar that I think might suit you, if you want to stay around for longer.
Tell me about the job.
Well, the task I have on offer should profit you, and though it's not the best way to sell our community to you, it should demonstrate that we're open about things here. You see, there was a murder committed just outside Goliath a few months ago. A rather dedicated berserker named Ascor was killed. There's been an investigation, but no definitive answers as to why he was killed. So, Ragnar wants me to follow up and find the murderer.
And what can I do?
Well, I'm having trouble getting answers from people. Maybe an outsider will have more success getting them to open up. Would you talk to the suspects and see what they have to say?
Tell me about the victim.
His name was Ascor. He was a warrior, newly promoted from cultivator. Ragnar had high hopes for him, but Ascor wasn't popular. He went missing around Mana's Eve 3 months ago. No one knew where he'd gone, and it wasn't like he had many shards to up and disappear with. Then one of Ragnar's patrols found Ascor's body rotting up in the forest. It looks like he was stabbed several times with a sword. Whoever did it was strong enough to overcome him, but clumsy. They didn't find anything on Ascor to point to who might be the murderer.
And you think I can find the killer?
You're a stranger here. That means you might see things I won't.
What kind of logic is that?
To be honest, I think this is a dead-end job. But Ragnar, against all the evidence, seems to think it was a berserker that killed Ascor, and he wants answers. Me, I think it's a wild goose chase. None of Ragnar's questioning has thrown up any proof a berserker was involved in this, so chances are it was an alb, an outlaw, or a reaver. But if a warlord has an itch to scratch, then that means we have to go and scratch it. So, let's cross all these suspects off the list and give them some closure.
Is this why you brought me to Goliath? To do your dirty work?
I brought you to Goliath to give you a chance. And this is a way to earn it by getting a warlord on your side.
Does Ragnar think a berserker murdered Ascor?
Ascor was killed with a sword, and there aren't too many people who use swords outside of Edand. But if Ragnar's right, then there must be someone who was outside the walls at the time of the crime. So, Ragnar drew up a list of 5 suspects. No idea why these 5 exactly, but Ragnar will have his reasons.
I'll find the murderer.
Ragnar wants answers. He seems determined to find out what happened. Myself, I don't know if we'll ever know what happened. But if we can eliminate these 5 suspects, he might let this go. And who knows? Maybe one of them did do it, and you'll get the proof.
Will the suspects talk to me?
Tell them you're investigating on Ragnar's orders. They'll answer your questions. Let me know if you need help. Remember, my sword belongs to you.
Who are the suspects?
A group of people who were out there in the forest at the time of the murder. First on the list is Baron. He's a guard. Well, he's supposed to be a guard. As far as I know, he doesn't have an alibi. But I think the only real reason he's on the list is because he knew Ascor when he was younger. Then there's Thorgal. He's in charge of a world heart in Abessa. I have no idea why Ragnar would put him on the list. Maybe just to be complete. Third is Garen, a hunter. He was reliable, but he seems to have lost heart in himself. There's something troubling him. Last are Irdor and Rock. Rock I can't get a handle on. There's something he's not happy about. Irdor is still wet behind the ears. Bit of a whiner, but seems to care about his job. They were all outside Goliath at the time of the murder.
What do you want me to ask them?
Where they were 3 months ago around Mana's Eve when the crime was committed. What they thought of Ascor. I doubt you'll get a confession. I doubt any of them did it, but you'll get a sense of the men, and then you can report back to me so we can close the case.
Where can I find them?
They're all still out there. Track them down, then report back to me when you've discovered something.
Do you think we make a good team?
We're a team. I'm ready if you are.
What do you know about Ascor's murder?
Nothing really. I don't hear much from Goliath out here.
How well do you know Ascor?
Not at all. I mean, I knew of him. People talked about him. But I don't think I ever said more than hello to him. Andy ignored me. He didn't really have time for cultivators. But, you know, people can be like that. Some value our work, others think they're superior somehow.
Do you know where they found Ascor's body?
I'm guessing somewhere in the forest, or why ask me, right?
Did you hear anything else about Ascor?
Well, I'm wondering why you're not asking me about the seedling that disappeared the same night Ascor was murdered. No one seems to be asking about it. And from what I heard, it wasn't just a seedling, it was one close to maturity. I heard it was being sent to a cultivator in the hope it could go on to Tavar or somewhere as a new world heart. But it never arrived.
You work here on your own?
Most of the time. That's part of the punishment. It didn't used to be as lonely. They'd send patrols out to check on us. But since the Albs started attacking, we've been left on our own out here. Yeah, I guess we're not a priority.
Do you carry a sword?
Of course. It's dangerous out here.
So, you were here when he was killed?
Probably. I haven't been anywhere else in months. I only go back for supplies or to transport seedlings. When was Ascor killed?
3 months ago, around Mana's Eve.
Then I was back in Goliath sometime around then. I've lost track, to be honest, but whenever it was, I didn't see anything.
I don't think you killed Ascor.
Me? Of course I didn't.
You really don't think you have a motive?
You mean the seedling he had? I'm a cultivator. I look after a world heart. I want to know what happened to the seedling he had. Why aren't you investigating where it went?
You're out here with a sword and no witnesses.
If I tried to attack a warrior with a sword, chances are you'd be planting me in the ground.
Watch out! I wonder what this place used to be. Not good. Not good at all.
That isn't enough.
You, what are you doing? You're scaring away everything within a day's walk. You crash around like that, you'll scare off anything you can eat and attract everything that wants to make a meal of you.
I don't know these forests.
That's as plain as a horny troll in your sleeping sack. You'd better learn quick if you want to stay alive. You're scaring away the prey that is my livelihood. It's hard enough bringing in the food I have to, without some big-footed oaf crashing through the forest. Still, seeing as you aren't a natural hunter, maybe you'd like to buy some goods from me.
You're a hunter?
Yeah, I found my place. This is where I belong, with nature and for nature. I want nothing to do with Goliath.
Why not?
Too much talking, too much bullshit. Out here, peace. But you look like a talker. Is that why you're here? To talk?
What do you have to trade? What are you hunting?
Whatever I find. You can't be too picky if you want to hit Goliath's quota and feed yourself. You won't catch anyone in Goliath roasting a rot boar. They're missing good meat.
A berserker was killed. The body was found in the forest.
The forest is a dangerous place.
The berserker who was murdered was called Asgore. Did you know him?
Asgore? That asshole. Yeah, I knew him. I kept out of his way. He kissed Ragnar's ass and treated everyone else like rot boar shit.
Sociable guy, aren't you?
Sociable just means happy to talk shit. I don't talk shit.
Do you always hunt with a bow?
A bow? Traps? You should always try and kill at a distance. Learn that, and you will live longer. I'm here to feed berserkers, not the creatures.
You didn't like Asgore.
I didn't put myself in a position where I needed to. Little shit won't be missed.
Sounds like you had a grudge.
I think most people are assholes. You only asked me about Asgore.
When were you last in the forest by Goliath?
I don't know. Not for a year. This is the best area for hunting, and all Goliath cares about is me filling my quota. As long as I send them meat and fur, I can stay out here away from small talk and politics. What's with all these questions? Is some asshole trying to pin this on me?
I'm questioning anyone I meet out here.
If you want an alibi for me, you'll have to go out there and speak to the raptors.
Is that your only alibi?
I'm a hunter. You want to know where I am? I'm always here in the forest.
Teach me something.
Sure.
Who are you?
I am Leonard. Berserker, prospective hunter, and apprentice. At least I will be if Master Garen will teach me.
You're learning to be a hunter?
I'm an apprentice. Do you have any hunting experience?
I'm a born hunter.
You are? What have you seen? Have you seen swamp spiders or trolls? Did you fight them?
There's not much on Magalan I haven't fought. You don't have a choice when you're out here in the wilderness. Before anything else, you must be quick.
Quick. Quick, yes, that's what Master Garen says. Seems he does know what he's talking about. When he talks to me.
Nothing to do?
What? Who are you? What do you want? Who goes there?
Are you a guard?
Stop asking questions and answer them. Who are you?
You're lucky I'm not an enemy.
Well, you know, it's not like the elves are going to attack these trees, is it? If there's one thing the elves know we got a lot of, it's trees. And it's not like these trees do much. I mean, they're not going to run away while I'm asleep, are they? Did Master Thorold send you? Is there something important? Because if not, just go, okay?
What makes you think Thorold the Pilgrim sent me?
When he was still the big boss up there in Goliath, he used to reprimand me quite often. I wondered if he was still keeping an eye on me. Still, whatever. I've heard he's retreated into study. Let him play with his magic. I hope it does save us. And while he's away, I have my peace and quiet out here.
What do you know about Thorold's retreat?
Not much. It said that he is working on a plan to stop the Alps. It's something huge that would change the war in all of Magalan. You think it? It happens. The Alps are screwed. Just like that. No idea what it is, though. But nobody is really allowed to talk about it. Well, then nobody even really understands what he's doing anyway.
Where is Pilgrim Thorold?
Well, that is confidential. Meaning, if anyone actually knows, no one is actually saying. Maybe he will figure out how to rob the elves of their magical strength at least. Then good, honest warriors could go back to sleeping in nice, comfortable beds.
Now there's a future that Magalan should be fighting for. I need to ask you about Ascor's murder.
I can't tell you anything about that. Not anything that's not being said already. He should have kept his head down like me. Ambition only gets you dead. He should have picked his spot and stayed there. Why are you interested in that? Really?
Tell me what you do know about the murder.
Me? I only know what people are saying. That they thought Ascor had run away, but he hadn't. He'd been murdered somewhere out in the forest. I was out here at the time, on guard duty.
Did anyone see you? Is there anyone who can give you an alibi?
Hilda. She was with me all night. Her and Alda, and Dagny, and Erica, Freya, Garrett, Heggie, Magda. They're the trees over there. They're my girls. Very lonely out here. So no, I have no alibi.
Did you know Ascor well?
Since we were old enough to crawl, our parents were friends. We grew up like brothers.
Have you been trained to use that sword?
All berserkers are. You think I could survive out here if I couldn't use it?
You look quite strong for somebody who's just standing around all day.
Maybe. And?
Ascor's body was found near here. Did you see it?
No. I know where he was found. But no, I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't see him. I wouldn't want to remember him like that. My duties keep me here most of the time. So I stay looking after my girls, the trees, making sure they stay safe.
Where do you go when you do get away?
Nearby. Not Goliad, if that's what you mean. I tend to stay out here these days.
Where nearby?
The lift into the Valley of the Damned. That's a good place to relax. There's quite the view of the valley there. It's a good place to let your worries just drift away. I hope you find who did it.
Maybe you did it. You knew him. You don't have an alibi.
Why would I kill him? He was my friend.
Why should I believe you?
Because it sounds like you're doing something about this, like you want to find out who did it. You should start with people who had a problem with him, not his friends.
Your friend Ascor. What kind of man was he?
Well, he wasn't a simple guy. He was my friend. Our parents were friends. We basically grew up as brothers. But he was sort of ambitious, and that sometimes, well, made him an ass. Listen, it doesn't matter. Just forget what I said.
Ambition could give a motive, if he got in someone's way.
Well, don't look at me. I'm happy where I am. I don't give a troll's ass about promotion. Leave me alone, will you?
Get out there and get something yourself.
We will fight together.
Ascor is dead.
Dead? What the hell happened to him?
He was murdered.
Damn. I knew it. He was just too ambitious.
Can you think of anyone who might have done it?
Me? No. Well, not specifically. He's ambitious, or was ambitious. He always wanted to become a paladin. Last I heard, he was due to be tested by Ragnar along with some other candidates. Passing that test was all he ever wanted.
So, what do you think got him murdered?
I don't know. Ascor was a good man. Well, he was to me. But he could wind people up. Maybe he got the wrong person pissed with him. Maybe someone else was as ambitious as him.
You knew Ascor well?
Yeah, I asked if he could come out here on this assignment. But he stayed back in Goliath so he could take the warrior test.
When did you last see Ascor?
Just over 3 months ago. Not long before I came out here.
How long have you been away from Goliath?
Just over 3 months. Since then, I've been here, trying to survive in the beautiful islands of Abessa. Trying to manage an outpost with too few people and too few supplies.
And you have witnesses to your whereabouts?
Yeah. More if we can find that missing supply team. This camp by the World Heart is where I've been, and this is where I'll stay until the warlords order me back.
You must be good with a sword to have got posted out here.
Not good enough to hit someone in Edan from here, if that's what you mean.
It's obvious you didn't do it.
Yeah, well, I hope you'll find who did.
I think Ragnar must just have wanted you eliminated from suspicion.
He said to question me?
Yes, Duras told me.
Duras? Well, he's a man who stands by his duty. I hope the two of you find the murderer.
I'm working on it.
Look into whoever might have been a rival for Ascor. That's my advice. Keep your eyes peeled.
The Berserker Ascor has been murdered.
Ascor? How did that happen?
Did you know Ascor?
Yeah, he was an arrogant asshole. He'd have done anything for promotion. It's his sort that make me want to say this. Fuck the Berserkers.
What weapon do you use?
A sword. I hate it. That's another reason I want to join the Outlaws. I've got myself a gun, but I want some real weapons.
You don't seem happy as a cultivator. Did you ever think of seeking promotion?
Man, I would have to be able to read first. You can't exactly climb the career ladder if you can't read. Ascor could. That guy wanted to do everything to get promoted. He hated anyone else who could read, especially if they weren't born in Goliath.
Were you close to Goliath 3 months ago?
No, I was out in the forest gathering supplies before I traveled out to the World Heart. I've not been close to Goliath for a year. Once I had the supplies, I came straight out to Abessa. Wait, you don't think I was involved, do you?
Do you have proof of where you were 3 months ago?
I don't know. I don't keep a diary. Depends on the day and the orders. Sometimes I was digging shit alone, sometimes finding supplies alone, sometimes marching around and building stuff where they told me to. Those days I was with people. I just did whatever they said. I didn't want to be exiled to the valley.
I don't think you killed Ascor.
Shit, what? You thought I did that? No way, I wouldn't have risked that. Even though he was an asshole.
As you say. About Ascor's murder. I don't think Baron did it. Ascor was his friend, and Baron just wants to be left alone. I don't see why he'd murder anyone.
All right. Even though he knew Ascor better than most, yeah, you're right. He doesn't have the energy, or the motive. Frankly, I only think Ragnar wanted Baron questioned in case he had seen anything. It looks like he didn't. Let's take him off the list for now.
Thorgal wasn't anywhere near Goliath at the time of the murder, and he has witnesses to prove it.
Yeah, he's also too skilled a fighter to have left Ascor such a bloody mess. So, he's out as a suspect.
Garen just wants to hunt. He didn't like Ascor, but I don't think he killed him. Besides, if he had killed Ascor, he'd have used his bow, not a sword.
Yeah, all Garen wants is to hunt. He'd have no motive for this.
It's not conclusive, but I don't think it was him.
I agree. I don't think it was him either. Let's take him off the list.
Eardor didn't have time to commit a murder. He's tending to the World Heart and looking after supplies. Besides, he's just too weak to have killed Ascor in the way you described.
Yes, I agree. I don't think Eardor was capable of this. That's one less suspect for us.
Rock wasn't anywhere near Goliath when the murder was committed. He didn't like Ascor, but I don't think he could have done it. I'd say he didn't kill Ascor.
I didn't think he would have the opportunity, but Ragnar insisted I look into him. I guess Ragnar was wrong.
You recently became a warrior, didn't you? You and Ascor are both eligible to be paladins.
Yes, but trust me, I'm happier with my job collecting waifs and strays than becoming a paladin and going out to the front lines. I think I'm making more of a difference doing what I'm doing. Ascor, though, was a driven man. Becoming a paladin was all he wanted.
You were right. The investigation was a waste of time. It must have been someone outside Edan. All of his suspects are innocent.
It's Ragnar we'll have to convince. He is certain one of them did it. He's not often wrong.
Then who do you think it was?
I don't know.
Then tell Ragnar that.
What about Baron? He didn't have a proper alibi, did he?
There was no one there to say he was at his post, and of all the suspects, he knew Ascor the best.
Then it must be him. The others all have alibis, and Baron knew Ascor better than the others.
I thought you said Ragnar only included Baron in case he saw something.
Ragnar wants answers. He's insisting the murderer is found. You've questioned everyone, and Baron's the only one without a decent alibi. Do you know where Baron is?
I found him in the forest, but he said he takes time off to go to the lift into the Valley of the Damned.
Then we should go there and see what we find. You want me to come with you?
What do you think we'll find there?
Who knows? But we don't have any evidence so far, so it feels like we should check this clue out. At least so we can tell Ragnar that we did.
Why would Baron talk about that place if he had something to hide?
Since when have criminals been clever? And Baron's not that smart. Maybe he just let something slip.
All right. I'll search the area near the lift that Baron talked about. What is it I'm looking for?
We won't know until we find it. Have a look around, bring me anything you find. Just don't interfere with it.
What do you mean, interfere?
Bring anything you find to me without disturbing it. Whatever you find, we should take it to Ragnar.
Then you know what it is.
No, I'm warning you. Do what I say.
Right.
Just trust me. Your life might depend on it.
That was great.
You should go back to Origin.
Very well.
I could use your help.
Then you have it.
You think you can keep up with me? I mean, I use a jetpack sometimes.
I know. I have one that I haven't taken to the pit yet.
Can you use it though? You are a berserker.
Yeah, sometimes rules can be bent. I'll deal with any trouble.
Then let's go.
You lead, I'll follow. The berserkers have held the Alps back with bravery and magic. This fight will call upon those qualities. So, you've joined a faction. Welcome to the berserkers. I'm glad you chose to become one of us.
Follow me.
Sure. Not bad here, is it?
I found something hidden in Baron's hiding place.
What'd you find?
Here, do you think this could belong to Baron?
No, that was Ascor's. And now we find it at a place Baron confesses coming to regularly? Huh, I'd say we have some evidence.
I solved your case for you, Duras.
You got to the truth. For that, I thank you. I'll take things from here.
Is that everything you have to say?
The destruction of a seedling is a matter for a warlord. Your involvement is over.
Uh-huh. So what happens now?
I take this to Ragnar. He'll deal with it from here.
You want to know what I think about the murder?
Very well. What do you think?
Well, I don't think any of the people on the list did it. There's just not the proof. There's only one person associated with Ascor we've not investigated. You.
Me?
You were a rival to Ascor. You carry a sword. Then you find out Baron goes to where the seedling was found and suddenly think he's a prime suspect.
You can't think I did it.
I do. It's simple. You murdered Ascor.
What are you talking about? You can't seriously think it was me.
Tell me your alibi.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You spend your time outside Goliad, and you've spent all your time trying to persuade me not to investigate this. Then tell me. Tell me, or you'll have to tell Ragnar.
Ragnar will see me dead. I'm an outsider, and Ascor was born a berserker. He was known, and he was one of Ragnar's favorites.
So you did kill him?
Kill him? Yes. Murder him? No. I found Ascor by the lift one day. He'd managed to kill the seedling he'd been given. He knew that would stop him becoming a paladin. He attacked me.
So why hide that? And why frame Baron?
Baron's been blackmailing me. He found me with Ascor's body. He knows I'm an outsider. Who would they believe? Who do you believe? I gave you a chance. Won't you do that for me?
I can see why you did it. I'll keep your secret.
Thank you. You don't know what a weight this has been. I owe the berserkers. Now I owe them more. I didn't want him dead, but he flipped on me. I don't think it helped that it was me. He couldn't stand the idea that he'd be facing exile while I continued on as a warrior.
What is in the casket?
Property that belongs to the berserkers. You now know who the murderer is. That's what you needed to discover.
Ragnar wants answers. This won't be over until he's happy he has them. Time for you to step aside and let me finish this.
What do you mean?
I solved the murder. I will get the reward.
Wait a moment.
I could tell Ragnar that murderer wasn't a berserker.
You could also tell him it was me.
You'll have to take that risk.
You don't believe I can let you go to Ragnar after that?
Then draw your weapon or trust me.
Then do it. But quickly. The sooner we have it behind us, the better.
You ordered the warrior Duras to investigate Ascor's murder?
Yes. Ascor was a trusted and well-liked member of our people. So it was only right that his murder should be investigated by Duras. Justice will be done. Ascor's murderer must face the punishment they deserve.
I have some information about Ascor's murder.
Anything you know would be helpful. What have you learned?
The murderer isn't anyone from Goliad.
How do you know this?
None of the suspects had a clear motive or opportunity. It makes sense that it was an outsider. There is a war on, after all.
So why was Ascor killed?
For the seedling. My guess, it was a simple robbery. Ascor refused to hand over the seedling and was killed for it.
So Ascor died honorably, defending the seedling? I had started to hear grumblings about Ascor. But defending a seedling to the death, that is the man I knew. You stand for the law, and you see good men die for it. So we have an answer. There would never be a good result to this tragedy. But knowing that this foul murder was not committed by one of our brothers is as much as I could hope for. I will consider this matter closed. My thanks to you and to Duras for bringing me this closure. You did well to bring this information to me. Here, Take this reward as thanks for ending this matter. I am surprised you solved this before Duras.
A brave choice.
Is that everything you have to say?
From a lost sheep to a wolf.
When fate brings us together, we will see. I could use your help.
You lead, I'll follow. Opportunities are there to be seized. Very good.